In my arms. Yeah, that's Alex Jones, baby. All right, we're talking about some serious issues today. We're talking about how they got us divided. It should not be front page news that Fuzzy Zeller said something racist, even though he's an old, fat racist. Who cares about an old, fat racist that says something about an awesome man, Asian African-American, who's worth probably $100 million? Who cares about words? We're Americans. We're all together in this boat. The man with the plan is here, Jeff Davis. What do you have to say?
It's like you said, Alex, keep the small fish in turmoil so the big fish can rob and rule over. So
That's it.
That's the game plan,
That's
my friend.
it. You're hitting the nail right on the head. And I've talked to you so many times. I've been on your television program. You've been on my television program. And I've seen some of the fantastic interviews you've done with people I've seen all over the news. Whether it's, you know, the head people for Republic of Texas or whoever. Just all these diverse groups, militia leaders and people.
We interviewed John Trockman, the head of the militia of Montana, Jack McLam, the head of Operation Vampire Killer 2000, Police Against the New World Order. And by the way, that's what we're up against, this oligarchy, a financial elite.
You got it.
The Federal Reserve.
Oh, I want to say something real fast, and then I'll let you go. People always telling me the conspiracy isn't real. What I'm saying is conspiracy is real. I have here the preeminent worldwide, all politicians have read this a dozen times. This is Machiavellian. He was a prince. The famous analysis of statesmanship, statesmanship and power. And, you know, that was back when Italy was all divided up over 400 years ago. And this says, the world-renowned study reveals the techniques and strategy of gaining and keeping political control. And this is a famous book. There's probably as many of these in print, almost as much as the Bible. People have been reading these for 400 years. And listen to the back. Conspiracy. A prince... And then it goes on to say, a prince need trouble little about conspiracies when the people are well disposed. But when they are hostile and hold him in hatred, then he must fear everything and everybody. And it goes on, Machiavelli. And this is the basis of all modern politics. It doesn't matter what you do, winning is the key, is what these kind of degenerates think. This guy was the ultimate in Italy. Totally controlled things, people killed, everybody loved him. Because he knew how to manipulate and divide. And people today, if you talk about it, they'll say, if you talk about subterfuge and power, you're a conspiracy nut. And I think they're full of it.
There is a power behind the scenes. Started with Adam Weishaupt, 1776, when he created a doctrine called the Order of the Illuminati, at which that time he stated that he would, through international finance, via the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, the International Bank of Settlements, would one day buy up the world, and that's exactly what they've done. And since that point, since they control resources at the top, they've been able to finance various different front groups like the Trilateral Commission, the Council on Foreign Relations, the World Council of Churches.
Let me stop you right there. Every one of those groups is real. I've seen them on C-SPAN. I've read the Council on Foreign Relations bi-monthly book they put out. You can buy it at Barnes & Noble or any major bookstore, and it's called, the name of it is called Foreign Affairs and World Politics. And the thing in there says, welcome to the New World Order, do you know your way around? And this is the biggest industry in the world, is corrupt international banking, I don't mean local banking, and it's real, they're out in the open, but the little serfs, the little idiots, because Peter Jennings doesn't tell them, and I don't mean to be mean, but they are, they just go, Big Mac cheeseburger, please, that's all I care about. And I just try to say to them, you idiot, it's real, it's right here in front of your face. And they just go, no, it's conspiracy, everything is wonderful, I never question anything. Big fan of yours, Jeff.
What we've got here, basically, like I stated earlier, is a financial oligarchy who have, through the control of resources at the top, have been able to create all these different front groups, both political, religious, and whatnot. And through these different front groups, left wing, right wing, etc., they have created a mechanism to keep us fighting amongst ourselves, keep us divided up, give people the opportunity, the thought that they are in control of their own destiny when in fact they are not. And the fact is, their goal has been for over 200 years now. They want what they stated on the back of our dollar bill, and that is a new world order.
But how could people continue this for 200 years? Simple. It's bloodlines. There's about 10 powerful degenerate families who think.
And then they get. But let me just explain how this. It's like a pyramid scheme.
It is a Ponzi scheme.
And they get everybody, all the different local medias and all the different middlemen to go along with it, duped, you know, mainly out of ignorance, and they put them on the payroll. The better agent you are, the higher you are put up on the echelon. It is a conspiracy of control at the top. All of us down here are serfs, and that's evident with things like the the Korea War, the Vietnam War, where our young 18 and 19-year-old kids were sent off to 10,000 miles away from home for no better reason than these international bankers. We're not talking about the Committee of 300 bringing drugs in here. We're not talking about these government training centers
hold
called
on.
public education.
Excuse me, sir. None of this is real. You can't prove one single thread of what you're saying. How dare you? You are a serious travesty. In fact, I am very afraid of you militant-type people. No one in powerful positions thinks how to accentuate and drive forward their power. No, everything magically happens in this world, Mr. Davis. And
It's all happening by coincidence.
That's right. It's a coincidence theory. If you had any understanding of social dynamism in this world today, you would understand.
This government, and the way it's set it up now to redistribute wealth.
It has an
Okay,
it has
basically
an
what it does,
inexhaustible appetite.
it
It gobbles
redistributes.
up everything.
But the point is that this government now that we have set up cannot do any of the supposed goods that it does.
Thanks for the call.
By not doing something bad first, and that is steal from everybody else. Right now, there are people going to jail for the IRS, they're losing their homes and their properties to county taxes.
Well, they should have paid their taxes.
Which is a form of...
They should have paid their taxes.
Yeah, well,
they're not paying their fair share. They're only paying 52% on average in some form of tax. What's wrong with you? The government's the good, loving creature. Seriously, we're here with Jeff Davis, and I want to say one thing. Thanks to his producer, who's almost as good as Eric Gerstenberg, my fantastic producer. They said Eric's one of their best producers for how quick he's learned. He's doing a fantastic job. But your producer, Mike Hansen, up here filming this, is going to be on television. He's got a...
Yeah, well, let me just mention real quick. What do you call it down here? Time Warner?
Yeah. Time Warner Cable.
Time Warner. If you got also Cablevision.
Time Warner.
We have a access program that's hot, folks, hot.
Now, you got to play mine now.
Monday nights, 7:30 p.m. on Channel 10. And if you like what we're talking about on here, like I said, we have interviews from... folks like John Trockman, Militia Montana, Jack McClam, Operation Vampire Killer. We have good guests. We have former council members. We have just a wide... Alex has been on the show before. We have a wide view of opinions, largely similar to ours, though.
Oh,
the
yeah.
government is way too big,
Well,
way
Jeff,
too...
you're a lot more open-minded. I wouldn't say open-minded, but something you do is you told me you don't agree with... You don't think that, the UFO thing is aliens. You don't agree with a lot of the real kooky stuff, but you still allow that on. You still give vent to that. Unlike our mainstream media, you are open. You say, hey, get your say. You let them on the program. That's why I admire what you're doing. You're doing a good job.
Let me just mention that, Alex. We have, I do believe that there's UFOs, but I don't believe in the space critter per se. I believe
it's
that
just military hardware.
It's slave master technology that they will use against us if they need to.
Well, people just...
For example,
I've got to qualify. People just probably laugh at you because, I don't know, they just don't want to believe anything that's not set.
Well, let me just mention...
Hold on. The world
I spent 13 years in the United States Air Force.
I understand. I've seen all your medals.
I know that
I've seen your medals, been over your place.
I know that the technology that they're giving us, for example, the SR-71 Blackbird reconnaissance jet.
We found out about it 30 years after it came out. 14
years after the technology was there, finally it was released to the public.
30.
So if they are hiding, if you ask my opinion, Alex, national security is
an excuse, an umbrella.
It's synonymous with cover-up.
You got it.
This government is corrupt, and they are covering up things, technology that they are not releasing to the American people. That nobody, men or women, should be participating in the U.S. military under these conditions for no better reasons than international bankers can get richer. And that's essentially what it is when you look at Korea, Vietnam, World War I, World War II, where people are creating and financing these wars and sending our young people to go die in swamplands of Vietnam. So the whole idea, this is a division type issue, and the fact is, as long as our military being used as a world policeman for the UN and for the World Bank and the IMF, nobody should be participating in that.
Who? Yeah. Yeah, I just met him downstairs.